Hello everyone, it's Samantha Henderson here, RNS Drugstore's Safety and Compliance Officer, bringing you some additional training to help satisfy our OSHA safety compliance. Today we will be going over principles of fire extinguisher use and unqualified electrical training. Fire extinguisher use. Portable fire extinguishers are used for incipient stage fires, defined as a fire in its beginning or initial stage, and that can be handled safely with a portable extinguisher and does not require the use of special personal protective equipment, including respirators. Portable fire extinguishers are not intended for use for fighting large fires. There are many types of extinguishers, and using the wrong kind means you may not be able to extinguish it safely and effectively. For example, you would not use a water spraying extinguisher on burning liquids. This can actually make the fire spread. You would never use a Class A water fire extinguisher on an electrical fire for obvious reasons. Some extinguishers are intended for use on a single type or class of fire material. You can always check the label on the extinguisher to determine what type of fire it is intended to extinguish. RNS Drugstore fire extinguishers are Class A, B, and C and are designed for use on a combination of 2 or more classes of fires. A class will help fight wood, paper, plastic, rubber, and cloth. B, flammable and combustible liquids and gases. And Class C is for electrical fires. This is the anatomy of a fire extinguisher and will help you determine how and which parts to use for our system in fighting incipient fires. You have the discharge lever, the pressure gauge, carrying handle, discharge locking pin and seal, discharge hose, data plate, body, discharge nozzle, and the discharge orifice. There's a 4-step system to help you remember what to do in the event of an incipient fire. It's called PASS, which stands for pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. You're going to want to pull the pin, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep side to side to cover the burning material. Once you have emptied the extinguisher, you will need to evacuate the area. Do not use a second extinguisher, and always call 911 after you have safely evacuated. Additionally, when you're using the extinguisher, you want to stand 6 to 8 feet away from the fire. Do's and don'ts and safety for using the portable fire extinguishers. Never get yourself in a position where you could be trapped should the fire spread. Always maintain a clear path to the nearest exit or other safe area if the flames, heat, or smoke seem to be getting out of control. If you're faced with a large fire, immediately evacuate the area and alert others with fire pools or by alerting them by shouting fire. Once you have extinguished the fire, keep an eye out for flare-ups. Sometimes the fire continues to smolder beneath the burnt debris, and it is not uncommon for a fire to reignite several minutes later. Additionally, be mindful of slippery areas where water, extinguisher foam, ash, or other liquids from containers that might have burst during the fire collect on the floor. Do not run, just walk in a controlled manner. Also, keep an eye out for potential falling hazards in the fire area, such as boxes, pallets, etc. Lastly, you're going to always turn in an extinguisher that has had its pin pulled, whether you squeeze the handle or not, as you may have broken the internal pressure seal when removing the pin. You can turn it into your manager or contact RNS Drugstore Safety and Compliance Officer, Samantha Henderson, with any questions or further instruction. My phone number is 254-226-0832. This completes our portable fire extinguisher training. Now we'll move on to unqualified electrical training. The unqualified person's electrical training is meant for any and all employee at R&S drugstores. Everyone has to be trained on unqualified electrical because everyone plugs things in, unplugs things. If you turn the lights on using the breakers, and if you change any light bulbs. Introduction. This will help identify major hazards, types of hazards it will describe, protection methods, and help workers and employers to recognize requirements and safety measures. There are 4 main types of electrical injuries. These include electrocution, which is death due to electrical shock, burns, and falls. This slide shows you some electrical terminology as including current, resistance, voltage, conductors, insulators, and grounding. Safety is the first concern at R&S Drugstore. We want to make sure you be safe. That's what we promote, to be safe. Remember, burns, electrocution, shock, arc flash, arc blast, fire, explosions. All of these things could occur on a daily basis, so we have to remember to be safe. Electricity is defined as movement of the free electrons between atoms. Electrocution is fatal and results when a human is exposed to a lethal amount of electrical energy. Electrical shock received when current passes through the body. Low voltage does not mean that it's a low hazard. The dangers of electrical shock include ventricular fibrillation. It will cause death in a few minutes unless a defibrillator will be used. And this can happen in something as small as a power drill. Electrical shock. This causes the body to become, when the body becomes part of electrical circuit, electrical shock can occur. Reflex response to passage of electric current through the body. Burns. Most common shock-related injury are burns. There are 3 types of these electrical burns: electrical, arc flash, and thermal contact. Falls. Electrical shock can also cause indirect or secondary injuries, such as falls. Workers who are changing light bulbs could be in danger of this, so it's always stressed to be safe. Electrical hazards from this are the arc flash, the arc blast. That's a sudden release of electrical energy. When you are using the electrical box, the breaker box, to turn on lights, you need to stand to the side of it and then use your arm to turn it on. You do not want to stand directly in front of it. This could cause electrocution from an arc flash or an arc blast. Fires can also result from things such as problems with fixed wiring, problems with cords, plugs, or receptacles, and switches. If you see a switch that has burn marks on it, do not use it. The same goes for an outlet. Explosions could also occur. There are types of electrical hazards: defective equipment or tools, handheld electrical tools. They can pose a potential danger because they make continuous good contact with the hand. You want to protect yourself from shock burns and electrocution, and tools must have a 3-wire cord, be double insulated, and be powered by a low voltage insulation transformer. We do not use flexible cords at the pharmacy as they are not allowed by the city. However, if there happens to be any that are able to be used in the future, we want to make sure that we prohibit the incorrect use of them. We don't want to substitute for fixed wiring. We don't want to run through walls, ceilings, floors, doors, or windows, and they can't be concealed behind or attached to building surfaces. There are some electrical protection methods for tool safety. Here are some tips. Never carry a tool by the cord. Never yank the cord to disconnect it. Keep cords away from heat, oil, and sharp edges. Disconnect when not in use and when changing accessories such as blades and bits. Avoid accidental starting. Do not hold your finger on the switch button while carrying a plugged-in tool. Use gloves and appropriate footwear, and store in a dry place when not using. Don't use any equipment in wet, damp environments. Do not plug in, unplug any equipment. Keep working areas well lit. Ensure cords do not cause a tripping hazard. Remove damaged tools from use, and use double insulated tools. We follow lockout tagout procedures. If anything is not working, you need to alert the management and or the safety compliance officer so we can lock out, tag out that it's a danger and not to use. Power source identification. We would make sure all breakers are marked accordingly and mark all disconnect means accordingly for the equipment they service. Identify all voltages with proper labeling. If you see something that's not labeled, please notify management or the safety compliance officer. The employer ensures proper guarding. We provide training, enforce safety related in the workplace, ensure the proper uses of things like flexible cords and power strips, and we ensure the proper identifications of power sources. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact myself or your manager. You can call or email me. Thank you so much. You have completed your portable fire extinguisher and unqualified electrical training for 2021. Thank you so much.